stupid decision because it compromises what your ultimate goal is.
Caitlin Clark, almost unanimous, -1. Angel Reese received one first place vote for Rookie of the Year.
You won't believe this. A WNBA legend just got caught red-handed voting against Caitlin Clark for Rookie of the Year. That's right, 66 out of 67 votes went to Clark, but 1 vote went to Angel Reese. What's going on here? You know what's crazier? The person behind this vote isn't who you'd expect.
We were making the point, do you want to promote the league or not? And people like Andrea and others were resistant to that playing a role in somebody making the roster.
In fact, she's a WNBA legend herself. We're talking about A'ja Wilson, the powerhouse who just snagged the unanimous MVP award in 2024. That's right, the first player to do it since Cynthia Cooper back in 1997. But why does this matter for Caitlin Clark? Well, it's all connected and the story is wild. See, there's a rumor going around that Wilson might have had a hand in that lone vote for Angel Reese. Yeah, the same vote that kept Clark from a clean sweep. But why would a superstar like Wilson care about a rookie's award? It's all about legacy, folks. Think about it. Wilson just made history with her unanimous MVP win. Now imagine a rookie comes in and does the same thing with Rookie of the Year. Suddenly Wilson's achievement doesn't seem so special anymore, right? That's what people are saying.
So we've got somebody out there who is casting votes for Angel Reese. I say somebody, I mean, I suppose it could have been one person who voted for Angel Reese for Rookie of the Year.
That Wilson wanted to protect her own legacy by making sure Clark didn't outshine her. Now, let's talk about Cameron Duncan, the journalist who cast that controversial vote for Reese. Word on the street is that Wilson might have nudged Duncan to make this decision. We're not talking about some random connection here. This is a big deal, suggesting there might be more going on behind the scenes than we thought. But here's where it gets really interesting. This vote isn't just about Clark versus Reese, not even just about Wilson protecting her spot at the top. This is about maintaining the status quo in the WNBA. It's about power, influence, and who gets to decide what's important in the league. Imagine being in Clark's shoes for a second. You've had this incredible rookie season, breaking records left and right. You're thinking, this is it, I'm going to make history.
That somebody is trolling Angel Reese. Because these are sports people, supposedly. These are members of the media.
And then, out of nowhere, one vote changes everything. It's not just disappointing, it's a message. A message that says, not so fast, rookie. This whole situation has opened up a can of worms in the WNBA. People are starting to ask questions about fairness, about how awards are decided, and about who really holds the power in the league. It's exposing rifts that nobody was talking about before. Think about the pressure this puts on players. It's not just about performing on the court anymore. Now they have to worry about politics, about stepping on the wrong toes, about making sure they don't upset the established order. That's a lot to put on anyone, let alone a rookie who's just trying to play her best game. And let's not forget about the fans. How are they supposed to feel when they see this kind of thing happening? It shakes their trust in the system, makes them wonder if what they're seeing on the court is really what matters. That's dangerous territory for any sport. While the WNBA stays quiet, whispers of racial bias are getting louder. Is Caitlin Clark's success threatening more than just records? The answer might shock you. This vote isn't just about one player or one award. It's opening up a whole can of worms in the WNBA, and the implications are huge. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, race. Some people are saying that Clark's success is seen as a threat to the established narratives in the league. Think about it. We've got a young white player coming in and dominating from day one. That's shaking things up in a league where many of the top stars are women of color. But here's the thing, this isn't just about Clark versus Reese. It's about how the WNBA handles diversity and representation. Are some players feeling like their achievements might be overshadowed? Are others worried about losing their spot in the spotlight? These are tough questions, but they're important ones. Now, you'd think the WNBA would be all over this, right? Setting the record straight, calming fears, reassuring fans. But nope, they've been silent as a church mouse. And let me tell you, that silence is speaking volumes. Fans are starting to wonder what's really going on behind the scenes. Trust is taking a hit, and that's not good for anyone. This whole situation is shining a light on some bigger issues in the league. How transparent is the voting process for these awards? Who's really pulling the strings? And most importantly, are all players getting a fair shake? Imagine you're a rookie coming into the league now. You're not just worrying about your game anymore. You're thinking about politics, about who you might offend if you do too well. That's a lot of pressure, and it's not what basketball should be about. And let's talk about the fans for a second. How are they supposed to feel when they see this kind of thing happening? It shakes their faith in the whole system. They start wondering if what they're seeing on the court is really what matters. That's dangerous territory for any sport, but especially for one that's still growing like the WNBA. This single vote has exposed some deep cracks in the foundation of the WNBA. We're talking about race, power, fairness, issues that go way beyond basketball, and the league can't ignore them anymore. This could be a turning point, a chance for the WNBA to take a hard look at itself and make some real changes. But here's the million-dollar question. Will they take that chance? Or will they try to sweep it under the rug and hope it all blows over? Because let me tell you, fans aren't going to forget about this anytime soon. They want answers, and they want to see action. Just when you thought this couldn't get any crazier, the plot thickens. The WNBA is at a crossroads, and their response to this vote could change everything. Are we about to witness a total overhaul of how the league operates? The answer might shock you. This controversy isn't just about Caitlin Clark anymore. It's shaking the WNBA to its core, and the league's next move could be a game changer. Think about it. One vote has exposed cracks in the system that nobody can ignore. The WNBA has to do something, but what? First up, let's talk about the voting process. It's clear as day that something's gotta change. Maybe we'll see a complete overhaul of how these awards are handed out. Imagine a system where every vote is public, where players and journalists have to stand by their choices. That would be wild, right? No more hiding behind closed doors. But it's not just about the votes. This whole mess could lead to some serious consequences for the people involved. If the rumors about Aja Wilson are true, what happens to her? She's a superstar, but even superstars aren't above the rules. The league might have to make an example out of someone to show they're serious about fairness. Now, let's talk about Caitlin Clark. You know what's crazy? This might be the best thing that ever happened to her. Yeah, you heard me right. Think about it. She's got a chip on her shoulder now. She's gonna come out next season with something to prove. We might see a whole new level of Caitlin Clark, and that's saying something. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. This vote has stirred up some bad blood between the veterans and the rookies. Imagine being a new player coming into the league now. You're not just worried about your game anymore. You're thinking about who you might tick off if you do too well. That's a lot of pressure, and it could change how rookies play the game. And here's where it gets really interesting. This controversy could be the kick in the pants the WNBA needs to face some big issues head on. We're talking about race, power, and who gets to decide what's important in the league. These are tough conversations, but they're long overdue. The WNBA can't just sweep this under the rug and hope it goes away. Fans are watching, players are talking, and the whole world of women's basketball is waiting to see what happens next. This could be a turning point for the league, a chance to show that they're serious about fairness and transparency. But let me tell you, it's not gonna be easy. Change never is. The WNBA might have to ruffle some feathers, maybe even upset some big names. But if they do it right, they could come out of this stronger than ever. You know what's wild? This single vote could end up changing the entire culture of the WNBA. We might see new rules about how players interact with the media, or stricter guidelines about conflicts of interest. The league might have to open up about how they make decisions, from top to bottom. And let's not forget about the fans. They're the lifeblood of the league, and right now they're demanding answers. The WNBA needs to win back their trust, and fast. That might mean more transparency, more engagement, maybe even giving fans a voice in some of these